Welcome back to Single Mentality. We're going to get into the question of dating somebody who has a lot of friends of the opposite sex. And I'm going to turn this over to Sarah. Sarah is Sarah's having a little
the Bailey
fun.
count.
There we go. Okay, uh-oh, you're in trouble now.
Nope, this is exactly where
Is that
you
okay?
want to be, of course.
All right. Go ahead.
Baby. All right, dating, do you want me to go ahead and do my question from my side? Or just
Sure. I mean, but I guess basically, yeah,
Well-
in a second. But dating somebody who has friends of the opposite sex, is it something you're comfortable with? Is it something that, and I'm not asking you personally, I'm asking our
Sure.
viewers, is it something that can bring about jealousy? Is it something that can bring about awkward situations, conversations, any kind of suspicion, stuff like that? So,
Absolutely.
and you had somebody in a related, actually, before we get to that, Kyle, do we have the video for this? Let's get to the video first, and then we'll read your question because it kind of flows
Yeah, I think
into
it
your
ties
question.
in.
So this is some more video feedback we got, which, again, we love. Bring it on. Here we go.
So, Julie, what's your opinion on having a boyfriend that has a lot of friends that are girls?
You know, I don't feel very good about it. You know, I should be a good, trusting girlfriend and just say, Scott, go, have all these girlfriends, be friendly with them, talk to them on the phone, blah, blah, blah. I don't feel that way. I just don't like it. You know, it's hypocritical because then I have guy friends and I want to talk to them. But, yeah, that's how it is.
So, Tim, how do you feel about dating a girl that has a lot of guy friends? Do you think it affects the relationship? Do you feel threatened by it? Do you set rules and boundaries? What do you think about it?
I don't believe you should have to. I think if you're going to be in a relationship, you have to have the total trust level there, or else it's not worth it. So I don't particularly get upset about a girl having guy friends, but I make it known that it needs to be honest,
Right.
or else it's not going to work.
Sarah, what do you think?
All right, I think it depends if the man's girlfriends or someone he's already dated.
Okay.
If they have a romantic history, I think it changes things. If
Okay.
they've never dated, never been interested, then I think that most women would feel a little more comfortable with that. I know
Right.
I would.
Okay. Does the length of time between, whether or not you've dated them before, does the situation of the other person? In other words,
Yeah.
okay, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I have friends that I dated in college who I'm still friends with, and they're married with kids, and I'm still friendly with them.
Well, I think that changes it as well.
Okay, all
If
right.
they were single, I think it would still bother a lot
Okay,
of
I
women.
mean, I'm still having affairs with them.
Well, of course.
But they're
That's-
married with kids anyway. No, I
Right.
mean, obviously, I'm kidding. But so that makes a difference. Or
I
it doesn't
think
bother you
once
as
they're
much.
married, it's a little different. But honestly, I mean, I've had people be jealous about people I've dated back when I was 11. So,
Yeah.
I think it always makes people a little jealous.
Right. I think it doesn't bother me, and maybe because I do have a lot of female friends. So I think you kind of get a gut feeling about whether or not you should be suspicious or not. And I think if you have that gut feeling, fine. But I think if you don't, then it's not something that should bother you just because somebody has a lot of friends of the opposite sex, especially nowadays, where it's more common that men and women are friends, whereas back in the 50s, if you were hanging out with a girl, if you're a guy hanging out with a girl, you were dating. You weren't like
agree.
friends. So I think nowadays it's not that big a deal.
Now, does it matter how attractive the friends are? Because this is the taboo part of this.
Not to me, but I would not be surprised. And I think I've had situations where I think if I've seen, a woman have a different reaction if the guy's female friend was hot or not.
I mean,
Yeah.
If you're out with a girl and her best friend's Bradley Cooper, are
Right.
you going to be okay with
Sexiest
that?
Man Alive, 2011.
Yes.
Right.
Could be tough.
Kyle, do you have something to say? Because you're itching over there, and I don't know if you're just scratching yourself or you really have something to say.
No, that would actually be Bailey. I can't believe you guys think that's fine to be completely friends with the opposite sex. I mean, to me that raises some questions. It's why is she more like hanging out with these guys? Like, why can't she really hang out with females? Why is she having an issue with it? I've seen that. I like the girl to have a lot of girlfriends. I don't mind if she's kind of cool, can hang out with the guys, but I don't want her to sit there and hang out with the guys, because then when she's hanging out with me, she's going to want to hang out with my friends and be a part of that stuff. I'm not a fan of that. I'm surprised that both of you guys are fans of it.
Kyle, can I ask you a question? Have you dated a woman before?
Of course. not.
Okay,
Look at
and
me.
has she had guy friends?
Yeah, I'm like Sarah. I'm from the South. I dated a little sorority girl, right? And she had all the fraternity brothers, and it was nerve-wracking. It was annoying. She wanted to be one of the guys. She wanted to do that stuff, and like she could get the girly because she was Southern sorority, but at the same time, it was weird. It wasn't my friends. It wasn't she's friends with my friends. I'm fine with that, but it was her own friends that I didn't know. And it was kind of like they had their own jokes and stuff like that, and I enjoy it. It felt weird to me.
Do you think she was just friends, or do you think there was something going on?
No, look at me. I don't get
I know.
cheated
All right,
on.
that was a dumb
no,
question.
but no, there was nothing going on. But it was hard.
Yeah.
I won't lie. It was hard. And then even now, like, I really would. I like hanging out with girls and stuff like that. I'd rather hang out with a bunch of girls. And for me, I understand why that's why I'm kind of throwing a little catch-22, because I'd say I'd rather hang out with a bunch of girls than the guys. But the girls ain't fighting me. The guys, it's always like, who wants to fight right now?
Yeah, it can be a little tricky, I think.
Yeah.
So I can understand where Kyle's coming from. It could definitely be a bit of an issue. Now, you had a question come across your blog
I
that
did.
somewhat relates to this, I guess, in a way.
All
Let's read
right.
it.
So I received this. It says, "Hi, Sarah. Here's an interesting one for you. We all know that the economy isn't the best right now, and people are doing what they can to get by. In my case, that means letting my ex stay at my house for a month while she's in between apartments, and she's paying me rent. It was an amicable split, and we're still friendly, and it doesn't feel weird, but I think that explaining the situation to a new date would be weird. If it comes up, should I be honest or say I'm helping out a friend?"
And what was your response to this?
So my response was that if she's only staying for a month and it doesn't come up in conversation if you start dating someone, don't say my ex-girlfriend's staying at my house.
Right.
If she asks or says, do you have roommates, or it becomes very clear that she really needs to know this information,
Yeah.
you can't lie and you can't say it's a friend.
Right.
But it's going to cause problems. I would be very uncomfortable if a man I was dating was housing his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's just awkward.
I agree. I would avoid that question at all costs and just Houdini yourself out of it.
Yep.
If you can, because, I mean, I think if you if you tell the truth, I think that's a tough one to. I don't know that she's gonna respond very well.
No.
I mean, yes, obviously telling the truth is the way to go, like is the right thing to do. But I don't know. Is she gonna really?
It's only for a month. Now, if this ex-girlfriend, I said, if she's only staying for the month, make sure she abides by that. You're
Right,
not having your
exactly.
ex-girlfriend crash for 6 months. You're not going to be able to lie about it for 6 months and admit that.
Now, is he's just kind of helping her out, or is there a reason that she's staying?
I think she's in between apartments
Okay.
and needed a place.
Yeah.
And I can understand that. You know, if you have an amicable split, someone's in a hard space, but if you're going to start dating
Right.
while this is happening,
Yeah, that's a tricky situation,
Tricky.
and I would say avoid the question at all costs.
avoid
If you
it.
can.
If you're asked, be honest, but say she is leaving on this date, and that's it.
Yeah.
And hopefully the woman will understand.
Right.
She might not.
And try to play down the seriousness of the relationship if possible. Although I guess they were living together, right? Were they living together?
man.
And then she
No,
didn't move-
I don't think they were
okay.
living
Oh,
together.
she's just moving into.
For the
he's
month,
helping her out.
I believe, although I
That's
could
a
be
tough
wrong.
one. That's a tough one. Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know how guys get themselves into these predicaments.
I can see that
I
happening.
know.
If it's a good split and it's a good guy
Right.
and you're really strapped and you're paying rent, I can understand.
All right. Well, I think you gave him some good advice. I think.
Thank you.
You're
And I
welcome.
said that if he's bringing a girl over, that the ex has to be out of the house.
Yeah. And again, I
Definitely.
would also avoid that at all costs.
Exactly.
Not that I would even ever get that opportunity to bring
To
a woman
invite the
by
girl
unless
over.
wants to look at my collection of paintings.